What is up, YouTube? This is Dinosaur with yet another deck profile video. This time I will be showcasing a brand new orange deck, the deck of the Dinosaur. Dinosaurs are a way old mechanic that have not seen the light of day in a long time, but we've gotten confirmation on the possibility of a new structure deck, a new support monster that supports pretty much the entire archetype as a whole, and I am looking forward to that. But in the meantime, I decided to bring the deck back and see if I could make anything out of it with what support we currently had. So let's see where this goes. Starting off with the regular monster support, we have the trio of Jurrac Dino, 3-star tuner. Once during each player's end phase, if it destroyed an opponent's monster by battle, you contribute a Jurrac monster you control to draw 2 cards. It's a really interesting draw card. I use its effect on itself more than anything. 3 Hydro Get-On. Now, I actually did throw this deck together kind of in a hurry, but I was so excited about the build, I just had to show it off. I've already got the cards coming to me, they're just not here yet. Triple Hydro Get-On. If it destroys a monster in battle, you summon another Hydro Get-On. Of course, this one has to send it to the grave, whereas the Jurrac mechanic in general doesn't have to send it to the grave, it just has to kill something in battle. YuGiOh, everyone remembers this card from the Dino-Rabbit deck. If it destroys a monster in battle, you get to summon a Jurrac monster from your deck with 1700 or less attack. Doesn't matter the level. Most commonly, though, I use its effect to summon a Jurrac Velo, who, if it's destroyed in attack mode in battle, I get to special summon a Jurrac monster from my deck with 1700 or less attack. And we showcase the old monster style, now we showcase the new ones, mainly the Cavalry pendulums. We have 2 magical Cavalry of Salub, scale 3. It's unaffected by monsters' activated effects except pendulums, while on the field as a monster. Samurai Cavalry of Reptir, scale 3. If it attacks an opponent's face-up monster that's not a pendulum, it destroys it automatically, which is good. 2 Steel Cavalry of Dinon, 5 scale, so it's my high. At the start of the damage step, if this card battles a pendulum monster, its attack and defense become half its current attack and defense until the end of the damage step, which is, it kind of sucks. It's better in the scale zone, which is why it's only 2. But the Lance Forensis, this card is awesome. Scale 7, so I can go for any monster, including itself. And if a normal monster you control attacks the defense position, it does piercing. Not a very useful effect, but you never know. You might put your opponent to the point where they need to defend, and you just happen to have this. Then we move into the spell lineup, starting off with 3 Fossil Dig, of course. You add a level 6 or lower dino from your deck to your hand. It's their best search spell. 3 Moon Mirror Shield. They're in the mail, they're on the way, but their effect is that when you equip it to a monster, if it attacks an opponent's monster or is attacked, its attack points automatically become 100 higher than whatever it's battling. And if this card goes from the field to the graveyard, you can pay 500 points to put it on the top or bottom of the deck. It's unfortunately a mandatory cost, so it makes it slightly better. Opinion of better and worse is different for me than everyone else, but I think it's better because that means that you theoretically will never run out of a deck. 2 MST, just MST. 2 Summoner's Art for the Lance Forensis. The scale 7, for whatever reason, is difficult to pull, so this helps. And then we go into the trap lineup with 1 Bottomless, 2 Call the Haunted, 2 Memory Loss, Poor Man's Breakthrough Skill, and 3 Survival of the Fittest. This was another reason I wanted to rebuild the Dino deck, because I used this when I used to own the Dino deck a few years ago, and this card honestly made this deck a lot more powerful than I ever thought it would be. You target a dinosaur, you equip it with this card, it gains 1000 attack, and when it destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the grave, it can make a second attack on an opponent's monster in a row. So it's an automatic damage step equip card, which makes it good. Obviously, it's not the best option, but I love this card. I think it's great. And then we move into the side deck, which is fairly straightforward. 1 Jurrac Gallum, 2-star tuner. If it's destroyed in battle and sent to the grave, the monster that destroyed it is destroyed, but your opponent can discard a card to negate its effect. Jurrac YuGiOh, you contributed on the field to summon any level 4 or lower Jurrac monster from your deck graveyard, except itself. But it's a 1-star tuner, so it's not bad. We also have the 3rd copies of the Magical Cavalry of Sulub and Steel Cavalry of Dinon, the 3rd MST, 3rd Call of the Haunted, 3rd Compulsory, 3rd Fiendish Chain, the Mirror Force. Triple Survival Instinct. I'm saving this card for when we get that new support dino, Phantasmal Missilosaurus. But you target any number of dinosaur monsters in your grave and remove them from play, and you gain 400 points for each. It's mainly just a build-up for the new support card coming out. Then you have the Torrential and Vanities. And then we get into the extra deck, part of the deck that I'm sure that everybody is kind of curious about. We have one Jurrac Velfito, a tuner, one or more non-tuner dinos. Its attack and defense are equal to the total original attack of the synchro materials used for it, and if it attacks a face-down defense position monster, it destroys it automatically without flipping it up. It's really just there as a placeholder, because in all honesty, I'm thinking about replacing it with a third copy to match the two Giganatos, or Giganatos, however they're pronounced. Tuner and more non-tuner dinosaurs. All face-up Jurracs you control gain 200 attack for each in the grave. So for right now, the grave playability of this deck means that Survival Instinct does not have a lot of playability, which is why it's in the side. Jurrac Meteor, on the other hand, is a power. When it's synchro summoned, you destroy all cards on the field, then you can special summon a tuner from your grave. Doesn't even have to be a Jurrac tuner. But I mainly use it if I'm going to use Iolo and Gallum, because that way I can get Iolo, which gives me any Jurrac out of my grave of level 4 or lower. Then we get into the Xyz monsters, which are not dinosaurs, but they are direct dinosaur support, and I think we all remember these guys. We have 3 Dolka, Evilzar Dolka, detach a material, negate a monster effect, and destroy it. 3 Evilzar Logia, double detach, negate a spell, trap, normal, or special, and if you do, destroy it. And 1 Solda. Quite frankly, I think this is the trolliest card in the deck, and I hate using that word. But 2 level 6 dinosaurs, which means it's Lance Forensis, unless I choose to put in Jurrac Hera later on down the line, which I might. It can't be destroyed by card effects while it has Xyz material, which means it's a little more difficult. And when your opponent special summons a monster or monsters, you can detach a material and destroy that monster or monsters. So, shuts down pendulums, shuts down any summon from the extra deck, and it's not once per turn either. And that is the deck. Honestly, like I said, this deck was kind of thrown together, but I've had the idea for this deck for a long time. I just needed a reason to put it back together, and the new support monster, Phantasmal Missilosaurus, will actually give me a legitimate reason to keep this deck alive. And since this deck has taken up the orange spot, some of you are wondering what happened to the rock deck that was here. It was transferred into another deck slot, and I will be making a new video about that when it's ready to be showcased, because the new support monster, Doki Doki, finally came out. So look forward to seeing that video. In the meantime, this has been Nanashi, signing out.